So, fun fact. Eating too much broccoli can cause sexual dysfunction and mental retardation. So in other words, whatever the hell it is that Cartoon Network and our parents were telling us about eating too many vegetables is absolute shit.
Welcome back to Battle of the Sexes.
Honestly, this is part of the reason why I'm not a fan of having vegetables, or at least having too many of them. And I don't see why people usually use them for all sorts of weight loss. Blah, blah, blah. I want to lose weight. Blah, blah, blah. Detox. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to make a green smoothie. Blah, blah. And when you sit and think about it, you actually look at the smoothies that they make and the ingredients. They could have probably just made a pretty good salad with them. Now they've made a very shit-tasting smoothie. And just like that, they're going to chug down something that doesn't taste that good to relieve a problem that they could have solved with just moderate and healthy eating. But anyways, this isn't a nutritional podcast, so I'm gonna let that slide. And speaking of podcasts, welcome to Break Time on Westside, your number one break time podcast, coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya. The man on the mic is none other than the usual man himself, Sir Denver B. The show is none other than Battle of the Sexes, and this is the final episode of season 3. So I think that deserves its own round of applause. Yes, it's been 3 seasons running. It's the longest running series on the Break Time on Westside podcast. And to be quite honest, it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you, the fans, who've constantly listened. If it wasn't for the family that I have that have been supportive enough to let me disturb their lives and record. And to my brother, who was actually nice enough to help sort of bring in the equipment that helped start this podcast. But that being said, I do have news, and that is, even though we are taking a season break for both Battle of the Sexes and Tweet Street, we shall not be going completely silent. So we shall be taking a break for about 4 to 6 weeks before we resume with season 4 of Battle of the Sexes and season 2 of Tweet Street. But we have made sure that you have some content that you will be listening to. We'll be bringing in a couple of random episodes. We might bring back the minisode series. I might be doing the podcast with someone else over that holiday period. And we might just be coming back to IGTV. For those of y'all that follow us on Instagram at Breaktime on Westside, if you haven't followed yet, then you know very well that I used to post up on IGTV, but I stopped. For one reason or another, that's something that I can probably explain later, because we have an episode to do and it's not going to do itself, and I can't just talk about this the entire time. So, on to the episode. Now, before I get into what it was that I was to talk about, there is a man that we should refer to as a goat, because this man has single-handedly, like, this guy is a guy who has single-handedly tamed a Kardashian. Now, I do not mean that in a bad way or a good way in any sense, but here's the story. So Khloe Kardashian is allegedly pregnant, and the alleged father of the alleged pregnancy is none other than, drum rolls please, Tristan Thompson. Like, this man done got kicked out because he supposedly cheated and then went back in and left a baby in there. Like, this guy deserves a medal. Future should probably add him as one of the disciples under the Bible of misogyny. But while I have to edit most of the laughter that's coming out because it doesn't sound good, I do have to say that the social media community did not take this quite well. Now, over the weekend, when this news came out, people on social media were actually losing their shit, mostly on Twitter. And they were actually calling for Khloe to go and apologize to Jordyn Woods. Now, if y'all don't remember who Jordyn Woods is Kylie's best friend, who was supposedly the person that Tristan cheated on Khloe Kardashian with. Allegedly. It's all alleged. Now, the problem is, like, this shorty's name and image and reputation was dragged through the mud. From people calling her daft because she decided to ruin the friendship with her best friend, who happens to be a billionaire, for some regular dick, of which it is not regular. That is regular millionaire dick. Millionaire black dick is not regular. And also this whole dragging her name through the mud for being a so-called homewrecker. Now, I am not going to lie, it has its own pluses and minuses, but the way I see it, there's no such thing as bad publicity. That's just how I see it. And the fact that she didn't use that publicity to gain, besides, say, a bunch of followers that never knew she existed, then it's unfortunate for her. But the way I see it, if I was Khloe, I'd probably just walk up to her and be like, hey, Jordan, I'm sure you've heard what happened, and I'm sure you're not too happy about this, but unfortunately, this is how relationships, go through the ringer. Some things come, some things go. But as me and a bunch of my friends would probably say, it is what it is. It is what it is. With all due respect, well, I'll see if I can talk to Kylie. You're probably not as much a homewrecker as I thought you are. So I'll probably go talk to Kylie and have you restored back to your best friend status that you supposedly had. Now, the way I looked at it, it was like, you know what? Tristan done owned this shorty. Like, this guy had good enough dick that shorty still went back. And fine, yes, Kardashian is not anything too special. She's not the Queen of England. She's not the epitome of existence or some shit. She's just another regular human being. But, well, she's got a bit of a name, and most people would expect that she would do this shit under the radar and not get caught. But unfortunately, nature just had to catch up to her. Because clearly, man was like, you know what? As much as I'd probably want to nut outside, ooh, I'ma let this one sleep inside, woman. It is what it is. It is what it is. But anyways, now let me stop making fun of these guys and sort of move it on. So there was this story that was sort of making rounds in about 2 WhatsApp groups that I was in, and it was about this shorty that was fighting with a boyfriend because he had found out that she had an OnlyFans account that she was actually using, and I'm guessing making money from. So that in and of itself has its own issues, because for those of you all that don't know what OnlyFans is like, it's like Twitch but with like pay-per-view, if you can call it that. It's like if Pornhub turned into social media. It's like social media for pornography, where you can go and find individuals, and not necessarily a company set up film, but individuals that will go record themselves, take pictures of themselves for pornographic purposes, post them up and gain money, because people will pay to view their porn videos or their pictures. Now, for those of you that don't know, OnlyFans has been hacked more than once, actually twice, since the year 2020 began, because I remember there was one in Feb, and I think in towards the end of March or something. Those were 2 hacks, so I'm guessing probably the world found out about her and some shit, and he found it. But my biggest issue was how everyone was sticking it to her. Everyone was being so negative to her because of the whole, like, that's disrespectful to your boyfriend, how dare you do that, yet your boyfriend is there. And the boyfriend didn't know about it. It was this huge fight, and people were on the boyfriend's side, and they were talking about how she's disrespected the boyfriend, she isn't trustworthy enough, she should have been left, like, this woman is bottom of the barrel, trash. And I just sat back, I was like, guys, are we really going to turn on this woman like this? Because the way I see it, she's probably making guap. My only issue would be if she's making that guap and she's not spending it on the both of us. Because if her reputation is going to be dragged through the mud, then mine might just be dragged through the mud along with it. And I'll be asked why it is that I'm comfortable with a girlfriend who happens to be on OnlyFans. Now, I can handle the issues with my reputation, and I can probably defend her, but we might as well be eating that money both ways, honey. Like, if that pum pum is gonna go online and not give you the best image, or at least not give us the best image, and I'm gonna defend it, I might as well not just get the pum pum, but some of the proceeds from it. You feel me? So when I see people busy losing it and talking about disrespect. I usually ask myself, what is this whole disrespect that people are talking about? Because if she started the OnlyFans account and has been using it before the relationship began, then there's nothing wrong. Like, that's something that she chose to do. It's entirely her choice. If it happened after the relationship had already begun, then she probably should have come forward and spoken to the boyfriend about it. Now, of course, most boyfriends will just blatantly say no. But that being said, she should have probably just gone ahead, said that she was gonna do it, and said, whether you like it or you don't, this is something I have chosen to do. I am not about to run here broke, yet I can use this pussy to make that money. Pussy is a currency nowadays. So if people are gonna pay for that shit, then it might as well work. And there's a good chance that she probably wasn't even revealing all that much on her OnlyFans. Because as I was hearing not too long ago, there was someone that paid £150 just for a shorty on OnlyFans to remove her socks. Like, that in and of itself is pretty much a stretch. Like, I personally wouldn't even pay her to bang, but if there's niggas that are willing to do that, then that means that there's people that are making guap from that. And if she's making good guap, hell, I might as well go join her. But the way I see it, I don't think he was particularly disrespected, but he should have been given a say if she started it while the relationship was happening. That's just how I looked at it. But now my biggest issue was that it ended up boiling down to another conversation that we had been having. And it was about posting up provocative pictures online with minimal clothing, and yet you have a boyfriend, yet you're supposedly supposed to be faithful. And people were having this whole back and forth of, do you have a problem if your girlfriend posts up fairly provocative, close to nude, like the bikini photos, the photos with very, very little clothing on social media, post it up on Instagram? Would you have a problem with it? And people were coming out and they were talking about how they have a problem with how women can choose to do that, yet they have a relationship. And it's like, no, like, that's just trapping people. And they were busy talking about how it's disrespectful to them because how comes you're showing people all the things that I'm supposed to be seeing? But the defense now that came from some women was that if you're the one that's still hitting it, if she's faithful, what's the problem? The other people, they'll see, but as we Kenyans like to say, tunakula kwa macho. You're just consuming it with your eyes. There's nothing much else that you're gonna do with it besides, say, go grab your pack of Arimis or your bottle of lotion and you slap your monkey to it. It might not really change anything else that you can do. She's not going to go and start hopping on different dicks for that shit. And I sort of looked at it, and when someone actually asked me about it, just came out and I said, I don't have a problem with her posting it up. Like, my problem goes beyond that. If you want to post up provocative photos of your body, fine, go do it. It's your body, it's not mine. And because it's your body and it's your choice. I can't dictate whether it is that you post up nude photos of yourself online or you don't. And I don't really think there's anything that's particularly disrespectful to me if you choose to do that. It's an exaggeration of the entire idea of what respect and disrespect is. I would say she might be disrespecting herself. I'll be uncomfortable. Even though I'm still hitting it as your boyfriend, you're probably showing a little too much to the world, and you should probably be cautious of what that can do to you in the near future. Am I thinking of getting married to you? Probably not. It honestly doesn't matter. But as your boyfriend, I should care enough to at least tell you that I'm uncomfortable and what my drawbacks are with posting such things up. But even then, my issue isn't even posting it up. My issue isn't just the uncomfortability of it. When you're thirst trapping niggas online, there's a certain level of attention-seeking behavior that's there. You're technically sourcing for attention beyond the regular norms. There's women that can wear a lot more and look a hell of a lot better. Like, there's people, it's all a matter of dressing. If you dress well, even without showing so much, you can look really, really good. And this is something that we've noticed from so many things, from the Don't Rush challenge to all sorts of other different style and dress up challenges, and just generally women dressing. You can look good without showing too much. if you're going to push the boundaries of showing more skin, less clothing, then there's a certain level of attention that you're seeking. If your account is private, it might make a bit of sense for you to, have it reserved to a bunch of people. But still, why are you posting it up online? Not unless if you're trying to source for a certain amount of attention. You're sourcing for them likes. And you sourcing for them likes is even worse than you taking a nude photo and posting it up online for everyone to see. It's worse than the idea of exposing your entire self to the world. Because that in and of itself, fine, yes, you might not be cheating on me right now, but the fact that you're sourcing for attention elsewhere besides the one that I'm giving you, and you're actually sourcing for the attention of people that may not necessarily care about your well-being, but probably just want to jack off to you, or they just want to sleep with you, that in and of itself is a bit of a big issue. Like, that in and of itself is my biggest issue, because you're sourcing for validation from an online community of people that don't give a shit about you. That means that you're pretty much attention seeking, and if you're an attention seeker, that just means that if someone else probably comes in and offers you more attention than I am, then there's a good chance that you will probably ditch me and go for them. Or if I don't give you as much attention as possible, probably say I'm busy or something, then that means that someone else can come in and start filling in that void in a sense, and then you'll start cheating on me at some point. That's where my fears are. That's where my problem is. Not the fact that you're taking provocative photos. If you are taking provocative photos, I'll be uncomfortable. But the way I see it, if you're someone that's taking such photos and you're posting them up, there's probably a bit of an attention issue that you're having. But that's just my thoughts. You're probably having an attention disorder, but I'm not going to, but that's just my opinion. But the way I see it, if you enjoy your body, if you care about the relationship, if you're satisfied with the attention and the care that I give you, and the affection as well, then I don't see why it is that you would want to take provocative photos to go and thirst trap people, yet you're in a very happy relationship. But anyways, that's just me. I want to know what you guys think, feel. Your feedback, your criticism, I'm all in for it. At Breaktime on Westside is the Instagram handle to hit us up on. And if you want to hit me up on Twitter, it is at Bagaka, the D, the B, and the D are capital. It has been an amazing, amazing third season. And all I have is appreciation and thanks for all the people that have been listening. Battle of the Sexes Season 4 returns. And from we, the many stakeholders of Breaktime on Westside, to you, the fans that listen to Breaktime on Westside, I say we'll be back next season. Thank you so much. Take care and have a good one. Peace. I don't know, Tristan is like a very special case of, I just happen to have a really good dick, and once you go black, you never go back. We have the type of dick that can make her come back, even though I've made mistakes, that I think most of us niggas should probably adopt. I don't know why the hell I even had an accent with that other bit, but fuck it. Like, Mans was winning. Mans was able to get the shorty to come back even after he supposedly cheated.